What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we're going to continue with recomposing DK64 in a way that might sound more like Donkey Kong Country. I've been on a trip to Istanbul, so I haven't been able to stream for like a week, but I'm back and I'm ready. So I've done a lot of work to the rhythm here, and I've added some like strings and stuff since we last spoke. Like just kind of tied everything together. I'll play you the how it stands so far, and let you hear that. Welcome, Provolone Continuer and motorized lifting, and Gamer XT. Hope you enjoy. Welcome, Frank Johnson. Nice. So I've added some of the strings here and just made it, like this is the strings from the original Donkey Kong Country. And so just kind of made that soft pad. And then I've done some work on the rhythm here. Basically the rhythm is now being, it's basically simulating swing, but it's being encoded in thirds. So everything is within a third of a beat, but it's functioning as swing because it's doing one, something like that. And I think that's kind of what the ukulele is doing, because I can't see the beat, but it's like so. And the maracas are sort of establishing a regular beat, like just a 4 on the floor, but it's actually triplets, not it's actually triplets, like you're doing thirds. But and then you have where there's syncopation in the bongos. And then you have and you have sort of a beat like this with the gyro. And then let's see. With the bass, it's sort of like doing its own thing where you have some syncopation, but not too much. And it's all still going into thirds, but there's some space between the notes, so you have some rests. Give it some contrast. So that's sort of what I did there, and then I did long notes in the bass. And then I put have this tom. This is the tom from DK64. And it sort of sounds very good as like, just like, kind of like the jungle tom in Donkey Kong Country, so I kept that. Nice. And so now what I want to do is I want to go into Jungle Hy Jinks, but I want to make it like sort of more like what Dave would have did, as like a direct sequel to the DK Island Swing song. But I want to bring in some elements from DK64 that I liked a lot. For example, there are some improvisations which were really good, and also the nature sounds are really good. So I took I sort of sampled the nature sounds from the restored version of Jungle Japes, and we'll drag that in as like a it basically plays just like the song. Which in the game, that was a collection of various sounds. And it's pretty true to the original with all the birds and whatnot. And so basically, after that, I just want to bring in those tom drums played by the DK64 tom and make it like sort of the same beat. So we will do this, but create a new first empty and call this Jungle Tom. Jungle Tom beat, and then I think I saved it as a thing. Let's see, did I save that? No, that's the other one. Wait. What is this? This is the second. Whoops, too fast. That sounds epic on that pitch, though. Let me see. I think I didn't. This is the melody from the song, but I didn't bring in the Jungle Japes, or the DK Island Swing beat. I wanted to bring that in. Let's cancel that. Let's save that. Actually, I don't need to save that because I didn't do anything. And so this is a great way to bring in stuff from other projects, where you just bring in notes from other projects anyway, where you just save it as an you can literally save the piano roll as a file. And so I want to take this, so we have this to work from. Save score as, and then do Untitled 3 because the other two are something that I wanted to keep. And then go back to the project that we had. Okay, and then I want to go to find first empty and call it Tom, like Jungle Tom. Jungle Drums or something like that. And so then we can bring in that thing that we created. Whoops. Untitled 3. And it should work out pretty well. Except it's too fast. So let's double that. Oh wait, it's too much. So this, first of all, this is like repeated. Okay, so this is like the one repetition, so make this 2 bars. And roughly it fits right here. It's also not quite right. Let's see. Here's where it aligns, and then you just sort of shorten this. But it's still too slow. So let's speed it up and just change the tempo. Let's set it to 1 bar. I think is how it was before, so we can just cut that and import it again. Or just undo. Easier. Okay, so if we go back to that and then just cut this off. And then so in order to change the tempo, first I have to establish that, hey, every time you have this sort of thing, there's going to be, or this arrangement, there's going to be a tempo. So if I think it would be better to do this as a playlist thing. So where if you go to right click on the tempo and press create automation clip, then you can do like that. And and change that there. So that, wait, no. I want it to change here. Let me see, I think I can, okay, type in value. I want this value to be 100, because I think it was about 100. So that should work right. But then, and then if I want to keep the same value, I have to hold Shift and drag. Actually, I want this to change here. Nice. So now it'll change right there. And then I can go, I can put that here where the toms left off in the song. Okay, but I also want them to be, that sounds good, but I also want them to be sort of like, first of all, I want them to be panned, because there's like a note panning system here. And I want this to be, I can hold Alt-X to change the velocities, and I want these to be more normal. Okay, and I want this, I want the note panning to be, I'm going to do Shift, I'm going to click this note, Shift-C, and then Alt-X to change the panning thing. I want this one to be 50% one way, and this one to be 50% the other way. They sound like they're panning. And then I want to cut off this end here so that it doesn't repeat the phrase, and then Control-X. Maybe it would sound better up and up. Okay, so it's not exactly the same pitch. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that better. That's a nice loop there. Ah, we have some activity here. Welcome, 44I80. Most composers and most important composer in history. Truly, I agree. A new dimension of video game music industry. Yes, exactly. The greatest. His sound design is especially good, and he had a great enough understanding of like music theory that he knew what set like sort of simple things that would sound good compositionally, and the magic was like he really brought the magic was like sound design. He had amazing sound design, and then he had really good chord progressions too, and great melodies. He just like got it, he just kind of understood. Pretty much. Welcome, RCGRG. Yeah. Okay, so we've got this loop. That is basically the jungle Hy Jinks loop. Now, and as it goes with the song, we want this to repeat for about 8 bars, and we want it to sort of like fade in with the volume. So we want the volume to be like, I would say let's create an automation clip with this knob, and then we so before it can just be like this, like it can be normal, and then we have it go like suddenly go down. We can have it do like this, go all the way down and then fade in, but we don't want it to be exact 0. We want it to just fade in from a low volume like -20. And then, oh wait, undo that. And then I want to hold Shift to keep this value because we want it to be a normal value. I want it to fade in at fade in after those 8 bars. And where's my ambience? What happened to my ambience? Did my ambience go away? Oh, right, because we didn't save after that. So let's grab our Jungle Japes ambience. Okay. Okay, and then it's at that point I wanted to bring in that bongo beat. Now in the original, in DKC, it uses 1 bongo. Whoops. And at let's call this bongos. I don't know if I have bongos already. I don't. So it it just uses one bongo sample and then it pitches it like up and down to represent like the low bongo and the high bongo. But and this is the bongo sample set that I'm using is the one that was used for Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. And this is from the Bob Clearmountain sample CD. What channel is that? Let's see. So we're going to use that and just play that same pattern. This is channel number 3. Let's go select channel 3. So the pattern would go. This time we have to use let's see. I think it's like Let me see if that works. I'm not sure. No, it's a lot faster than that. I think it's more like. There's a pause there. No. No. There's a pause here. But there's supposed to be swing on this. I would say, and the way he does swing in the jungle beat is like every fourth step is swung, or like the second and fourth steps are swung a little bit, and that's like not even it's like an eighth of a step, so it's very minuscule. But if we, I don't want to quantize it, but yeah, let's kind of quantize it, but you don't want to ruin these flams here because the drums, the second layer of drums are offset slightly. So, what we want to do is like take this line and quantize it so that it becomes a normal line. And then you just use the swing function so that it simulates. That way, now when everything has swing, we don't have to program swing into like everything by making everything later. So now it sounds more swung. Okay, so now we can do, and I think this might be using half steps. Oh no, wait. And I don't necessarily want these delays here, like, because it's like got a slap back delay, and I don't want that here. Okay, so now we need the high articulation, and it's going to do it in thirds. So you have it where it breaks the beat, and it does this like run in thirds. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's how a real bongo would sound. And let's Control L so we can get so it lets all the notes ring out. I think I might want a little bit of slap back, just less. Nice. But I want them to be kind of panned in one way or other. Oh, okay. I like it. They're stereo, so if you pan it to the left, it's going to change the tone. But if you pan it in one way, oh, and contact is glitching, so I have to like such a bad plugin. So I have to like pick this, change this, and then now it's going to show up. Nice. Okay, so that works. And then I kind of want this to be like, I kind of want to hear this a little bit stronger, so let's And give it saturation. Nice. And I kind of want to get an exciter on this to bring out the highs because it's kind of dark. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Okay, so now we add this in. Nice. Okay, so that's feeling pretty good. Now I want to kind of add some more layers of drums because now we have more channels, we can do more. But first, let's read comments. Welcome, Mario 3DS. Love the Donkey Kong Country 2 OST. Me too. What a coincidence. Love Donkey Kong Country 2, and I'm a big fan. Always love the OST and adventures and levels. Yes, great game. Welcome, LU. Hello, everyone. I love Symphony, Sticker Bush Symphony Restored. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. That bongo pattern, Memory from the Heart, is profound love for the OST. Yeah. Well, I've studied these songs for like a lot of my life. I was like super obsessed with this OST from like childhood, so paying off from the muscle memory. Those bongos sound off. Do they still sound off? I mean, I don't know if this is an old message. But pretty much how they sounded in the original. But they said they're just not a single sample anymore. Ah, that's more like it. Yes, thank you. But I got it right. And you received the bongos from track 323. Ah, yeah. Alright. So, yes. Not verified. I don't even know how to get verified. I don't really have a desire to be verified. Like, I don't know what I would gain from that. I guess people would recognize me as a real account. I don't know. But I never really paid much attention to that. I'm just like, let me just make music. Never really did much of that. Business side of things. I miss drumming this in band class when we had time to goof off. Yes, this would be fun, drumming, because you don't get much, I don't know, fun stuff in like, you know, like, I don't know, music that's like very, unless you come from like a country that has like more syncopated music, like Latin American countries, or they usually the band practice doesn't have, the bands don't have a lot of like interesting drum lines. So this is look good. Latin rhythms for that. Not surprised he has it. Makes me want to go check my banana lair. Ha! Welcome, Han Solo. Welcome, Snowy Arctica. They're great now, though. Thank you. Okay, so now what was I going to do? Oh yeah, add more drums. So there was in the in Donkey Kong 64 they used a taiko drum with like a little bit of a different rhythm. Let's see what happens if we layer that taiko sound in there. It might give us more. It sort of had the impression of being like an ensemble of drums, like a big African drum ensemble, and you didn't get that. You didn't get that very convincingly with the Nintendo 64. So it was just kind of, but it implied more. So with the Nintendo, I mean, not with the SNES, you didn't get that many. You didn't get enough channels to do that, but he kind of did that in Primal Rave, right? Like he had lots more drums, but it was sort of implied. So let's make more layers. Basically, what I'm trying to say. So let me find the taiko. We'll layer the taiko drum in there. That's going to be channel 4, and so I want that to go directly into the jungle drums channel, and I also want the sort of channel volume here that we had to include that somehow. I don't know if that's possible, but and so if you go 4, and I remember the Nintendo 64 did a power chord. It was like yeah, pretty much just like that. So you go something like that, and we don't want it to be like very like a step. So here, yeah, we can sort of combine the that gives it more of an ensemble feel. And if we also change the rhythm to syncopate this further, so you see how like the lower, some of the notes here are a little bit off, so it gives the feeling of an ensemble. If we do that further, then we get even more of an ensemble. But also, if you notice, we lost the swing rhythm by changing it. That means so that means we're gonna have to program the swing all ourselves, because if you come out of the sort of like normal rhythm, then it perceives it as like an odd note and it doesn't syncopate it. Let's Nice, I like that. Now let's Control L so that it makes all of it the proper length. Lovely. Okay, so this, now I want the volume of here to kind of come up with it, and I want this to be an even more different panning. I like it more in the, like, maybe 25% in the right channel. Because the bongos are being panned left, so it makes sense for the taiko drum to go right. And let's make them louder. Okay, so now we need a knob to say that we want this, like, the volume to change. So we drag this knob to the taiko. And then we go to generators, contact, go to volume, and then I want to link this. I want to try to link this to the volume that was in the... We can use the same knob for it. Whoops. The tom volume. So let's try to add a target. Yeah, you can do this by adding a target link here. Tweak the parameters you want to link to that automation. You're done, click the plus button again. Okay, so you just move that, and then you click the plus button. So, okay, so now it's doing that. Now let's see what the resting volume is. It sounds like it's pretty good. Yeah, it's good like that. I think. Nice. Okay, so they're getting pretty loud there. Let's see if I like that resting volume. Getting a little loud. I don't know if that's just the time. I think that's a lot of it. Oh, I think it's because the taiko drum is like going all the way to the end. Yeah, because now it's at 5.6. I don't necessarily want that. I want it to be that high. So let's turn down the internal volume, like about 5 dB. Maybe a little more. Nice. I like that. Okay. So now, let me look at comments. Caroline Fisher is another underrated composer too. Yes, we have to do some of the tracks in her style too. Now nice. Weetle Bomb, welcome Raptor Boss. Like the beat, yeah. David Wise's magic on a SNES sound trip is that it's astronomically small compared to what people stream on Spot every day. He was working with little kilobytes. Yes. That was like most of his job was to make that, like, to work around, get that sound trip to work for them. Because he was like equal parts of composer and programmer. That's why it was hard to be a programmer in those days, or like a composer in those days for video games. Love the music that's coming together. Yeah, it's coming together. EK3 and also a voice actor. Yes, I think she was like the voice of Tiny Kong, I heard. Yeah, she helped with the DKC OST a lot. So this is coming, and then I think we can come up a little bit on the taiko volume and maybe down in the overall volume of the... Yeah, maybe down in the overall volume, because I don't want the drum... These drums are essentially functioning as kicks. Well, we can see what the overall volume is like, but... Okay, and then we can bring in some hi-hats. And these bongos should be down here because that's where the bongos normally occur, like in the rest of the song. Yeah. The sound effects are kind of like up here. We can put some sound effects up here. The bass should be down here for this too. Sound effects can be like up here. That's where I kind of want to keep everything organized in the same place. There were some sound effects here. But the toms are in different places as well, so... Nice. Okay, and I think at this point the hi-hats should come in, and he did a good job of like getting the hi-hats in Donkey Kong 64. So I think we'll bring those in. Let's see. Hi-hats, here we go. This is going to be channel 8. We can bring those up to normal volume. And I think I'm going to go and get the Jungle Japes pattern for that as well, real quick. Save this. What game do you like better, Donkey Kong Country 2 or Donkey Kong Bonanza? I would say Donkey Kong Country 2 because I never played Bonanza yet. And it seems like a good game, but I don't really, it's like I'm not really going to buy a whole Switch 2 for that. I'm not really gaming much anymore. I do have to listen to the OST though, but I guarantee you I will still like Donkey Kong 2 better. So it will be nice to hear what the composers came up with. Looks like I'm freezing a bit here. Oh well. Crashing on me. Not uncommon, given that we are on a Windows machine. Wake up hearing all these noises in Brazil. Nice. I would like to wake up to those noises in Brazil. To go to Brazil more, so I have to take another trip to Brazil. I only was there for like a week. Let's go to Jungle Japes again. It doesn't freeze on me again. Let's see. One moment. There it is. Just takes a while. So let's see what else we have here. Let's see, lobby 1 drums. Oh yeah, this one. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that was the see, we can kind of just copy that. Okay, actually, I can save this over the Untitled 3 since we already have that. Why is it taking so long to do that? It's crazy. So let's see what else we have going on here. Taiko, we got that. Could bring that in eventually. That's just a simple rhythm. This will put on the this will put on the clipboard because it spans multiple things. Let's see, 2 beat. That's a simple thing. Don't need that. Okay, I guess that's really it. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the project here. I wonder why Dixie and Kitty wasn't using DK64, even though Tiny and Chunky seem inspired by them. That would be cool to use them, but I think they just kind of wanted to, like, you know, Rare likes to create lots of characters, and like they're very creative people. They don't really do lots of crossover stuff. Like it's having trouble loading all these different things. I'm not using like a technical thing that I have to. I think I know why it might be crashing. It might be taking so long. Let's see. Bet I know what it is. What is happening? That is weird. Okay. It's probably no, it's not. Interesting. It's showing me. Okay, there now the glitches are gone. It's showing me a glitchy screen. Okay, let's see if it still remembers my clipboard stuff. Probably not. But let's just drag it in and find out. Let's find first empty and call this Tumba. Try pasting this and see. Nope, doesn't remember it. We're not that lucky. Let's just go. I think it's basically just like a polyrhythm. I think it goes actually further than that. It's like. Yeah. But is it gonna swing that though? Is it swinging that? It doesn't feel like it's swinging it. It's not swinging it at all. So maybe it has to be like a. Oh, because it's not actually too. It's too fast. I think it's too slow to swing it. Like it has to be. It's not. I think it's the wrong. Oh, because it's still 180 BPM. Okay, so let's cut all this. So it's painting in thirds, that's why it's a polyrhythm, so you're going like cycling it in thirds. Okay, so now it's going to be swung, and then we can bring that in later. Maybe here. I don't know if that's a bit much. I think we can bring that in some other time, but it's good to have. Okay, but now let's bring in the hi-hats. I think I still have them. Whoops. Hi-hats are on channel 8. Let's go find first empty and call this hi-hats. And then let's open our score here. Okay. And let's go to channel 8, Alt-C. Where are my hi-hats? Oh, here they are. So let's say that we're going to use... No, it's got to be here. There we go. Okay, so I want to cut all of this stuff. Leave just these patterns here. That way we can reuse those as needed. But I also want it to be less velocity. No, it's doing the ride bell, the bell hi-hat. I just want it to do like... Okay, that's better. And this needs to be... Okay. I think I'll keep it like that. So let's put this over here. And let's shorten this to just that. Okay, and then we bring in the bass. The big bass. From DK1. Are you married, and if so, do you have kids? No, not married, don't have kids. This is a great question, though. I don't do the kids thing. Not really in my interests. Let's see. So let's bring in the bass. So we're gonna use the same DK1 bass. Let's call this jungle bass. Okay, so we go. And I don't like that it just does this. We can change to C. So let's do I think it's like this. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, it's later a little bit. Yeah. But I kind of want to do something different. I think I had a different rhythm in mind. No, I didn't. I forgot it. And then it repeats, but then in a lower one. So I kind of have like, let's see. I don't want to keep it straight like the exactly as the original. Oh, I know what I could do. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let's see. Da 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 da. Yeah, let's do that. And then I kind of have an idea for a stop. Let's see, I want to do let's do like see how this works. Something like this. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see how that goes, and then I can barely hear that, so everything else is so loud. I think everything should go down a bit. Wait, is the bass going loud enough? The bass needs to be a little bit louder. Should be audible. Okay, and here's where I want the stop to happen. Okay, cool. So let's see. Now the bongos can come down a bit, because I want them to be a little bit, I want the bass to be a little bit more audible. And so can the hi-hats as well. Hi-hats are a little loud. And I kind of want the, I kind of want it to sustain like this. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then I wanted to come in with the string thing. The string chords. First, read word. Let's read stuff. Okay, that is one overwhelmed jungle bass. Yeah, right? How is Istanbul similar to Spain? Not really similar to Spain very at all. Because Spain is sort of like a liberal culture where you can do what you want, but Istanbul is more conservative, where it's like people don't talk loudly in public. You know, everybody's like, and it was very crowded. It was Spain. There was a little more space, and the food in Spain is pretty good, but food in Turkey is just up here. There's no topping food in Turkey, and food in Turkey is only on par with only matched in quality by Mexico when it comes to food. Those are the top two for me: is Turkey and Mexico for food. But that was mainly, and there's like a lot. It was a very beautiful city. There's lots of things. There's lots of technology and lots of like everybody is like it's pretty lively. It's a lot more. I think it's even more lively than Spain. Specifically talking about Barcelona. But anyway, let's go find first empty and call this jungle strings. So let's see. So there is that. I wonder if that the Jupiter 8 still has my. No, it's sustaining now. So what I want to do is take the jungle lobby chords. I want to take the sort of automation that they have here so I can set the things here. Let's paste that there. Go back to lobby chords, envelope 2 attack. Paste that here. Copy and paste. Envelope 2 sustain. Copy and paste. Envelope 1 sustain. Copy and paste. So now we have all the same automation that makes it staccato. We play this. That's the chords that we had there, but it's a little bit too short, so I kind of want to make, what is it, envelope 2 decay? Make it a little longer. Whoops, I did that in the jungle lobby chords. Those we want to be short. This, I want to be longer. Maybe a little bit less. Okay, so that's good, and the volume, I also had this, volume should be, let's see, just to make sure the volume is full. Okay, great. Now, let's zoom in closer here. I can even make it. Oh no, the velocity doesn't change anything. But before the chords come in, I want to do like a little string run, and like have it be like have it go into it. So let's turn off the snap, and let's make like some short notes. Let's make it go up to the A. I want it to be like if you do a synthesizer, because it's a synthesizer, and you do a like a what do they call that, a slide? Then your fingers are only going to be able to slide on the white notes. So you just do the white notes, and the song is in C anyway. Whoops, that's too fast. And I think I want it to be. Let's make it Yeah, let's make it way too fast. Yeah, let's make it slower. And let's quantize it to a, let's pick a speed and then quantize it to a certain rate. Okay, so that looks good. Let's quantize it to like a sixth of a beat. No, a third. Wait, maybe that's good. No, that's not good. Let's do it to a third of a step. And there's some issues. Nice. Okay, so let's put that up. I kind of wanted to do this in like, I want to do this in full octaves. And let's give it a little bit of attack there. Nice. Just a touch. Nice. And let's we can do like another, like an octave of that. Maybe even like go up a little bit. Or maybe do power chords. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and let's make the decay longer. No, not in Jungle Melody. You should really close that out. Let me get the tempo to be right. Let's remove this space here. Okay, and then let's extend this out. Okay. Okay, and then let's put that there, but let's make a time marker with a time signature change so that we can just have this space. Nice. Okay, and then let's put the strings. Where is it? Here. Okay, so let's see where that fits in the arrangement. Okay, so then we want to set the snap to be a beat. And then have it, I want it to do like... Okay, and then we do like one where it cuts it off here. And then we have it go down to the G. Let me see what comments. These musical notes. Yes, exactly. You get it. Okay, so that's a nice. So I want to dun, 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 dun. I want to bring in that. Let's do the. Actually, first, let's have these kind of end. Let's make an ending for these where it's like. Actually, this can end with this. Yeah, good. And then we have one bongo note. One tom note. Actually, one of each layer. Nice, and then one taiko. Okay, and then we continue the bass with dum 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 dum. Okay, then I'm gonna want to do this, like just kind of repeat it again, but with the G now. No, absolutely not. Not select things that I didn't select. So then we go down to G. And then we go dun 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 dun. So you're gonna do like this here. And then I think I want to change this one. Let's do the beginning of that. Let's do it like down here. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Let's take off the scale snap. Okay, and then we'll give it some more. Actually, these are all now like poking out, and I need them to shorten. Maybe not these, but this. So these, we need 4 more. Well, let's do 4 more bars of this. Okay. Now let's give us the G again. Okay, and then let's repeat these chords, but with in sort of like the G minor chord, like the dun dun, like a G sus. Okay, and then we go to and then it goes straight up to G major. Nice. Now this one needs to chill. This one can go out. And I kind of want to have that ending. Let's see, where it's like. Where it ends like, stop. I hate how it does this, just selects like time and then I try to duplicate something. And so, I want to do that sort of classic one where it's like dun da dee dun dun dun. Why is it? Oh, I'm in the wrong snap. Right, it was like this. Wait. Oh, it's like here. Okay, and then it goes into the next. Okay, so then you make a slice here, and then I can duplicate the rest of this here. Okay, and then you go into this bass thing where it's like it's doing more stuff, like more like a walking bass, like dun 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 dun. What was that line? Dun, 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 dun. I think it was like this. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe do like dun, 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 dun. And then you do dun 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 dun. Okay, and then you follow the bass line. It's basically just a walking bass line. You just make some variations. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, something like that. Now, of course, there will be some changes here that that has to be reflected in the bass line, but because so the chord goes from A sus4. So this can't happen. It has to be more reflective of A sus4. Okay, and then the G has to be reflected here. And then more of a G major thing has to be reflected here. Cool, I like that. See what the comments say. Great music, it's coming really good. Glad you like it. Welcome, Dean Kruger. Love this idea. Tell me. Glad to hear it. Glad you enjoy the tunes. Okay, so now I want to do one thing, which is like I want a riser, you know, like how in Aquatic Ambience and Stickerbush Symphony they had this like string riser in the background. And I took a sample of this when I made when I did the like in the Stickerbush Symphony restoration, because the string, like the rise, was too far enough for the VST to do. So I had to take a sample of it. Where's my riser? Where did I put that? I might have put it here. I don't know. Where did I put that riser? Oh well, doesn't matter. At least I don't think it does. I can just do this. Use the string riser on. I do want to find that though. I want to know. Oh, it might be in synths. No, where is that? What did I do? Let me go actually load Stickerbush Symphony and see if I can find where I put that. I'm curious. Because I recently changed from the PWM strings on the Wave Station to an actual recreation of the Poly 6 patch, which is what they would have used for the synth strings to make it on the Wave Station. A really low quality sample. Oh, I just made a long sample of the PWM strings. And then I just rose that. So let me grab this sort of like string riser sound and go back into the thing and then just load the PWM string sample. Let's do that. Let's see. Okay, and then we're gonna go find first empty, call this riser, and then we paste this here. And that's gonna need lots of effects, of course, to make it sound like it's not just a weird synth. But that'll do for now. But it's got to be quieter for one. That's one thing that needs to happen. It's got to be a really quiet thing. Oh, wait. I forgot to tell it, because it's so stupid in FL Studio now, you have to actually tell it to use the loop points, but it should do that by default. I don't know why they changed it. And then it goes into the swing part. I think this should be like a little bit lower. Actually, I think this should be C. Okay, that's pretty good. Now let's give that a mixer track because it desperately needs one. Now let's send it to reverb because I know I'm gonna want to give it reverb. So now it has reverb. Let's give it chorus. Yeah, and then let's... I think it should have more reverb than that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's getting a little loud here. Nice. Okay, so that's working out pretty well. I like that. So now the overall arrangement is... I'm still liking that pushback less. Yeah, I like that less. Now let's keep it, let's just disable it. Why are the bongos so mono now? They usually, oh, I think has something to do with the context, bad handling of the outs. There we go. Let's give everything else a mixer track too, because I don't like it that it's going through the uke track. The uke might be, like, yeah, the uke doesn't really have any, but it does have plug-in delay compensation. I still want it to be... Yes, I like that. Okay, so I'm just giving these, like, I'm just processing the extra tracks. That's process for contact is long and boring. That's the way contact works. Let's go. What's the next available mixer track? Okay, so we need more. Let's go to track 16. And 17. Okay, good. Now, when all this stuff gets, like, loud, I kind of want to cut out the... I kind of want to cut out the ambience, because Dave, he doesn't really... He just keeps the ambience in the beginning. He doesn't really keep it in the, and through the whole track. Okay, but I wanted to play through that part, but then fade out as it gets to the... And I kind of like that the lion is like is kind of like layering with the bass drop. Nice. Oh yeah, that makes things so much clearer. That mix, nice. Didn't know I needed that. And we only have, like, even with this octave, we only have, like, what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 channels. So, 13. So, in theory, that would leave us, like, if the game were the game, having 16 channels of audio, that would leave us 3 for sound effects, which I don't suppose might not be enough, but it works. Okay, so then we need a snare. I want to use the one from Donkey Kong Funk. I don't even know what that means. But welcome, Mr. 10 Years in the Joint. Welcome, Mandalorian Hunter. Great idea. Sounds great already. Can't watch the whole thing. I hope to listen to the whole product. All right. Welcome, Clayton Hansen. Ah, glad to have you aboard. What if Grant composed DKC? Ah, that's an interesting idea. I don't know if I would do that because my channel is mostly focused on Donkey Kong Country, and that's a little bit out of left field. But you cooking? We cooking up some good. Cooking up some good music food. Yeah. Now, so this is going nicely, and wait, why is this one? Okay, yeah, that's with the tempo change. I can raise the volume of the ambience here. And maybe not. Okay, so what snare do we want to do? I want to use the original Donkey Kong Country 1 snare because that was a good jazz snare. I have to decide, but I think maybe I can use something more of a jazz brush, like a jazz brush type snare. That would be cool. And that would be nice to go like a jazz direction with it. But it wouldn't work with the da 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 da. We need that big snare, that like piccolo snare come in. Let's see. What do I want to do? Yeah, let me work with the Donkey Kong Country 1 snare for now, and then if I would feel like it later, I'll change it. So the snare that was used in Donkey Kong Country 1 was from the Roland R8, but it's a local. The Roland R8 is a low quality. It has low quality sound in it, like samples. So I found the equivalents in the Roland sample CDs, and it's 2 layered samples. I found this one and this one. You have to combine, sort of have to manually combine them together. Actually, let's go give this, find the first empty and call this snare, or let's call it drums, like drum beat. Let's start with the rim shot. 1, 2. Wait, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Three, 4. Ah, yeah, there's syncopation here. Ah, yeah, and it's like slow because it's the stupid tempo thing. Ah. Okay, so we have to go half a step here for the quick part. Interesting. I think it's the swing tripping me up here. Da-da-da. I think it's what it's supposed to be is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ah, there we go. Okay, and then that is, the downbeat is like here. Yeah, there we go. So then we go here and then make, and then say that the downbeat is there. No, downbeat is not there. The downbeat is here. Okay, so then we combine that with but I think there's I don't know if this is how it originally is, but I kind of want a kick to be there instead. Okay, so, and then I don't know if I don't really want the Donkey Kong Country kick, but I might want the Donkey Kong 64 kick. Let's see, what kind of snares do I have? That's definitely not one that I want. I thought there was another snare. I think it was just a brush snare. So it doesn't really have like a good jazz snare except for this one. So I don't really, I think I'll keep the one from DKC1, but I do like the kick here. Yeah, that's a good one. And I kind of want to do a jazz sort of thing. Let's see, I kind of want to make it more jazz than swing at this point, because it like might be a nice dimension for that, rather than just repeating the thing that the original did. Sam Miller and Mac Miller are cousins. Nice. Hate how out of sync that sounds. It doesn't sound a little bit out of sync with the swing. I could like take the swing down at this point. Like if you take the swing down, it sounds like. No, it still sounds wrong. Let me go and see what was done in DK Island Swing with that run. Might just be a different tempo sort of thing, because the tempo is like speeding up at that point. Let's see, so drums. Okay, so this run is what we need here. Hello, welcome, Laid Back Taps. This is a new treat. Retail moving for nice. Glad you enjoy it, man. Last name Miller, you know you can make music. Nice. Or beer. I don't know, I don't drink beer, but anyway. Welcome, Darth Shermanator. Super talented dude to make music. Thank you. Glad you enjoy. Now, let's see what I was doing wrong here. Oh, okay, so it was like a triplet here. And then I'm supposed to, and then I got got the rest pretty much right. Yeah. But it was mostly that run that was wrong. Shift I, and then X to delete. But I want this one to be a kick. Yeah, there, and it is. But I also want to bring back the swing. I want to make this like, well, first of all, I want this to be quantized like this, and then the rest can be by the step. Nice. Let's copy this to the rim as well. Cool. Okay. Now, now I kind of want. There was a project that I started working on where it was like kind of like Donkey Kong. That I want to take the rolling bass line from. That would be cool. A cool idea. Because I had developed like I had practiced with a project by creating like a convincing jazz walking bass line that's kind of reminiscent of this tune. Let's see. Where is that project? Do I have that here? Might not have it. Maybe it was this one. Oops. I think I need to load Dropbox but there was a good walking bass line that I had that was like reminiscent of that I had planned for some that I'm using for something else. Let's see what that sounds like. I think now it should work. Let's see what happens. Will there be an upload of the finished work somewhere? It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. late, but watching it built from the ground up is also good. Yeah, there will be a yeah, I'll upload this when it's done. I don't know when it will be done, but also you can rewatch the live stream if whatever you don't catch, you can rewatch. Because the live streams are saved in my channel under live. Welcome, King Nick. Mind blowing, thank you, sir. You're welcome. Glad you enjoy it. So let me see. Oh yeah, this must be it. I think not actually. No, this is just a small thing. Where's that? Man, where's that project? I think this is it. Okay, now it's gonna have to load. Wow, these are long loading times. Taking so long. Well, bear with me one moment. I think this is heavy because it has lots of plugins in. Let's see. This is definitely the one. Where's my bass line? Ah, here it is. Yeah, so let me grab that whole thing. Copy that, and then go back to this one. Okay, and we're gonna drop this into, we're gonna make a new pattern and call this bass. Let's see, or actually we can put this in the jungle bass because it's still part of the jungle. It's a bass. Let's paste that here, and then let's see what we got. I think this should be an octave up. No, that's not right. That's not the part that I was needing. I think it's, oh, it's a different, first of all, it's a different tempo. I think this is the part I was needing. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely it. So if I cut this down. Control delete, and then let's see. I think if I stretch this out ×2, it'll be good. No, absolutely not. Oh, that's why it's playing that wrong, because it's like 180. You know, it just goes 180 all the time. Yeah, it's a walking bass line pattern for a project I made. Okay, so yeah, we'll cut that part out. But I think I might be able to pull from this. This would be a good one. I would like to use this. But it's a little bit high. I like it, but it's a little bit high. So. And I think this can be cut. And I might be able to put it, I don't know if I can put it down a whole lot. No, I can't put it down a whole lot. But I kind of like the principle. Yeah, so I like that, but I don't know about the key that it's in, or the representation of this key. So I kind of want to switch it down to like, so I kind of want to put this down to E, and then have it be like, instead of G D, have it be like. And have it be like a diminished chord, kind of like that. But the point is, it's supposed to, this is like an A minor sort of run. And so I want it to just be sort of like that. Because the old one's supposed to be like, supposed to be hanging around with this. So let's kind of put on the scale snap. Make it C major and then go shift it down a bit. E. Oh, but there is also some chromatic parts that I want to preserve. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it back up and keep the chromatic parts because it's too much to change. But I like the way that was going. And so that means I just have to change the and then we can change these all these G sharps to be like A's and G, or no, these A sharps to be like, yeah, like that. And this to C. But it's still sort of like C bluesy, you know. Let's see how that works, and let's make a drum beat. Okay, so let's make a let's put in the. Well, let's first go to our drum beat, and then make a some brush drums. And let's see. So we have brush drums from DK64. And Gangplank Galleon next. No, not really. Gangplank Galleon wasn't a part of this game, so that's not really. We'll go in order of Donkey Kong 64. Thoughts on Suno? What is Suno? Is that like an AI thing? I haven't really heard of that much. I've vaguely heard of that. But if you're asking for the thoughts on AI in general, then I am pretty much of the opinion that music sounded like AI long before AI existed. So let's see, there's and then I want to have the brush drums. Yeah. But there was also a brush. There was some better brush drums. This is just like one thing. I think I like the Donkey Kong Country brush drums better. We'll just use that. Yeah, that was better. So to do this, they use one sample, right? But I think I might have to change that later because I think it would be better if you do use the also short sample. Let's see if I can get that real quick. I wonder if I hope my stream is not going to freak out because I'm plugging in my computer's not going to freak out because I'm plugging in I'm using it. It's going to be on a disc, so I wonder if I can get that short sample there. There's a short brush, it's like that I would really like to use. You won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna get this soon. Oh, there's like a R8 card that has the brush. Although that's not really very good quality, so let's go to the disc. Go to the LCDC Jazz Composer disc. Okay, and you guys won't be able to see me do this, but basically I'm going to come in with retrieve some samples that Dave might have used. Let's go and find... Looking around for some more jazz brush drums. Oh, I think this is it. PBF snare. Oh, it's, hold on. No, that's not it. Well, at least it's working. At least it's not crashing my stream. Wait a second. I think I saw it. Ah, BBB brushes. Ooh, this is a good like patch. Let's see. This might work for like on the whole drums. Let's save this. I'm gonna save this to my desktop. Okay, so that ought to do. Then I can eject this. Lets me. Hold on one second. That won't let me eject it. So now we can go and bring in... I might be able to use this for the drums too. Oh, now it's saying it can't find it. Wait, is this still the same project? Contact has its dumb moments and its really dumb moments. Okay, so, but we're good. So let's see. I want here and then desktop. Find my kit, BBB brushes. I like this. Okay, so these will work as the, like, we don't even have to use the Donkey Kong Country drums. These will work at, like, snare, I mean. You can use, these will work as the intro snare. So the jazz brush drums, I'm going to go to channel 9. So if we then go select channel 9 and Alt-C to change. Where am I? Okay, so if we go down here, control, down, down, and then go to this here. Nice. I'm not sure I like the jazz kick here. Okay, and then we have to also change this to channel 8. I kind of like it. Okay, that works. Okay, so now let's do some brush drums. There's like, I think it looks like we have 2 articulations here. I think, let's see. Okay, and then you have lower velocities here as well. Okay, so everywhere you go with full velocity, plays the same thing. Oh wait, here's stronger. Okay, I think what I want to do is... And it's supposed to, it has swing, so it's supposed to be doing this swing thing. Okay, so that sounds pretty good except for not having swing, but I want to see if this one... Actually, I think I like the way this one sounds on the upbeats. And then but then it needs to swing. So to make it swing manually, since the swing function isn't working, I'm just gonna grab these notes manually. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. Oop. Hold Alt and... Okay. And now to make this more expressive, I want to randomize the velocities. Maybe that's a little too much. But this, I like... Actually... And then I want to kind of do a draw, like a tom here. Yeah, I like that. There's like, has to be a little break here. Actually, I don't really like these drums very much. I kind of want to use the DK2 drums because they sounded jazzier. Now let's get those. Dang, that's a great take on the AI music. I really like that. Music already sounded like it was made by AI years ago. Because it was like, we were like, it just started getting more and more electronic, and you sort of got to the point where there's no actual instruments being played, and even the voices that are being sung are like auto-tuned and melodined, so that they sound more like robots. And it was like, well, we were already kind of making computer music. It's like we sort of need to return to like acoustic sounding music. I say that as I make computer music, but I try to get more expression, as much expression out of it as possible, because I can't afford to record real instruments. But yeah, it's a little bit too repetitious, I should say. That's the problem with it, is like everything sounds like it's repetitive. Like the electronic beats are like just repetitive, the chord progressions are repetitive. If they really like, they need to innovate like the chord progressions, the melodies, and like really do more with that, you know, instead of just having it repeat like electronic stuff. So So I wanna bring in the solid toms because I like the way the toms from DKC2 sounded better for jazz. And let's go and grab those because I have a contact patch of those, I do believe. Yes. Unless I can use the DKC1 tom, but I think that's more of a jungle tom. We'll see. I think we can remove these. I think the DKC2 toms are going to sound more convincing. And then we want one more brush drum and then just one like simple tom here. Ooh, what is this? I wonder if I could do like maybe some ride bells here because this is, yeah, that's a bit much. Okay, so I want, what is this? I think it was channel 10. Yeah. Do an F. Okay, and then let's do that beat again. Okay, and let's basically do, because like what kind of jazz players usually do is they do these brush drums, and then at the end of a few beats, they usually do this sort of run, like this sort of like transition or like special thing with the toms. And so I want to make these toms like have release so that it just rings out because they don't stop the toms at all. And then I want to make two toms this time. But this is supposed to be, let's see, we have to do this. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I want to do one with like no transition. And then I want to do one that goes back to the other rhythm. Actually, that could be the end of it. Yeah, actually, we want it to be, let's just paste this here. And keep the beginning, but then delete this stuff. Let's put a kick there at the same time. Let's randomize some of those velocities a lot. Let's make this one strong. Nice. Okay. Let's work with that. Let's give this, where do we want to put the main drums? Let's see. Maybe right here. Nice. Okay, so now let's basically repeat this part. Okay, and then we can sort of bring the ambience back in. Let's bring it back in where we left off by bringing it down to here, and then starting with that, having it fade in. That also means I want the... Okay, so this is where I want the strings, actually. And then I can put the drums down here. It's a little blocky. I might have to work on that rhythm a little bit because I know what I want, but it's just not getting there. Would more Mega Man music from the Mega Man sense be potential choices for restoration in the future? I actually didn't choose those. It was a commission that was made to me. But I didn't really grow up with Mega Man, and Mega Man doesn't really get around too much. Like the one that I did, it doesn't get around too much on the channel. I would say probably not unless someone wants to commission it. Unfortunately. Welcome, Carlo Nassar. Welcome, Montoya Gamer. Let's see. Okay, and then it comes in with the and then this is where the ambience goes away. Okay. And I want to get that run, I want to take that run from DK Island Swing, the piano run. Because it's a good run. And I know we have the piano already, so we might as well do that. Oh, we have two here. Let's copy and let's put that onto the clipboard. And then let's go find verse empty, call this jungle melody. And then I want to basically paste this here for now. I want to know what channel, I want to remind myself what channel the piano is in. Piano is 6. Okay. So let's take this piece here, cut it, paste it, and then let's change it to Alt-C. I think it's already 6. No, it's not. Alt-C to change it to 6. And then let's Alt-X to turn down the velocities. See how that sounds. The tempo is wrong. Okay, cool. So now this part, I want this to be higher velocity. Yeah, and then this can be shorter. I want this to be just like pinprick notes. Nice. Okay, then I think I kind of, instead of just dropping out the piano like DKC1 does, I kind of want to do something with the piano and the harmony. But I also, Dave was inspired with this tune. Dave was inspired a lot by Benny Goodman, Sing Sing Sing, and with that, so what he was trying to do is kind of, and he's talked about this in an interview. He's trying to create that big band sound with the with all the, you know, big band meaning that you have a saxophone section and a trumpet section going at it, and sometimes making counterpoint lines. We can add that. Let's get the sax section from DKC2. See if we can write something with that. And then let's do that. So I'm gonna go to the Jungle Melody. Let me get my, because I saved the Jungle Japes melody. No, that's not it. As a score. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, so this should be it right here. Get this. Let's go and put it into the line, which I think this should be, if we put that here, we mute that out for now. Where's the sax? There it is. The sax is there. Shift C to select all this, and then change it to 11, and then Alt C to change. Nice. And so we also, now what they did with these swing tunes was they also did them in thirds. Like they would have thirds to sort of like beef it up, or fifths. And oftentimes it was thirds, I think. And so that means I'm going to snap it to the scale. That's not really gelling that well. So let's see. First, I want to. Now we can remove all this extra stuff. And then cut this part. We really want to focus on this melody for now. First off, I don't want an F here. Our chord is A major, so you don't want. So at this point, our chord is A major. You don't even really want G that much. And then at this point, we switch to E major, so you want that. Yeah, and then it's actually E dominant. It means that you have. So you want those notes. And at this point, we're still in E dominant. So you want mostly not really G so much as you want G major, as your G sharp, I mean. And not really A so much as you want B. And then at this point, we're back in A. A minor. So at this point, you want okay, and then the same thing again. E instead of F. Actually, A instead of G. Okay, and at this point we're in E major again. So you want dominant. And this, and you want B instead of C. Nice. And so here we want more. We want to do go chromatic. You can go straight up thirds. As long as you land, what really matters is where you land and the prolonged intervals. Yeah, where you start and where you end mostly matters. As long as you end back on A minor, which is A and E. Okay, so that's kind of like a big band line. Okay, and then for the trumpets, he used a muted trumpet sample, in DK64, which I like a lot, and also in DKC1 they used a muted trumpet, so why not? Muted trumpet is here. Nice. Although it could be better for, wait, he didn't compose the game? Ah! You just realized that Grant composed DK64. Welcome, Cool Wing 79. Okay, so let's see. I don't know if I want to go with a brass section. Actually, the brass section from DKC2 might be a better choice because you really want a section with these things. Let's see. Sort of like what was used in Token Tango. I want that sort of sample set. And so what that means is that I want to now copy this, paste it, and we're going to send this to channel 12. Shift C to select it again. I think we're going to want to put it in the upper octave. Yeah, there we go. Except that the trumpets are off tune. Let's see. I think they were off tune by about half. They were half too flat. Let me see if that. Let me get the tuner on there and see if that corrects it. No, that's C sharp 5. Yeah, it's they're half sharp. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I'm not sure how that big band sound will work with these like lighter, more subtle drums, but okay, and now we need to make the bass line work better for this thing because it changes chords, and here the bass line does not change chords. So right now what we have is focusing on mainly on E and A. Well, actually it's not really focusing on anything at the bottom. Actually, this sound kind of works pretty well. I think I kind of want this to go up to E. And this could focus more on, it could focus more on A minors. Let's do C. So here, at this point is where it switches to E major, E dominant. Okay, so we just have to make sure, and it actually does stay within E minor mostly here. Okay, and here this should be a G sharp. Until this should not be an F sharp. And then it goes back to A minor, so. Okay, and then we need to fill in here, basically. I can fill that in with another bar, like for reminiscence. Like the beginning bar playing right there. Oh no, wait, that's not the beginning bar. Yeah, it is. Here's like what I need. Now I kind of want these to be like fully chromatic. I need the thing to play in the background. Okay, here's the point where it goes to E. And it does stay, it's E dominant, and it does stay on D, which is, start on D, which is good. Okay, but we want the G to be sharp. This G to be sharp too. Nice. Yeah, and then we go, and then we write, and then I want to follow this direction where it goes dun 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 dun, and then maybe the bass doesn't really go lower than that, I don't think, or maybe we can. So yeah, maybe we can go lower. Oh, and I have to stretch it out. Okay, and then, let's see. Nice. Okay, that's working pretty well. But I would need some, so I need the piano needs to be the accompaniment here. So what we can do is go to in the melody, we can split up these harmonies here. And go to, like, move this to the beginning bar. Okay, so find first empty and call this jungle harmony, where we will use the piano. We can put this back. And then maybe we can do the same thing with the piano and see how that works out. So we do continue that sort of harmony. But then so this is basically outlining in A minor. Whoops. And now we have more, since we have more notes to work with, we can even complete the chord. Where it does like this. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, that would be good. Let's see. I don't know if I want to do that, but let's see. That actually sounds good. You kind of want to put some blues into it too, where it's not just A minor, it's like A minor dominant maybe, but it also is kind of dominant. Yeah, see, like that dominant is really good. But otherwise, it's just changing chords. You kind of have to have that C in there. Yeah, that's fine. I like it like that. I like it like that. Okay, and then you have to make it go with the E major chord as well, like E dominant chord. Dun, 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 dun. So let's make this go down to there. How about that? Oh wait, I think it would be better to go to. Let's see. No, that's not gonna work. Let's see. Put the scale snap on, and let's have it go down to B. First, start on B, and then D counts. Let's see. Maybe this needs to be E. This needs to be B. Wait, can't use that. Maybe. Let's see. But this has to be. We'll have to remove the scale snap and make this B sharp. That's about as good as it's going to get, I think. But it's using the second, which means we can probably use the second of E as well. And and that would be F sharp, or F. Look at that. But this is basically needs to be going down. So like maybe we can do like that, and then have it, the top note be B. We can also pass A. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky one. Oh, that one's, I think, sounds as good as it's gonna get. Nah, that's too distracting. That's too much. And I think with the extra notes, it's also too much. So if we undo all that. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, but we also need, before we do the harmony, we also need the counter melody. Played by the clarinet. Let's go and see. I wonder if I have that. Let's see. I think it's in there. Let's see. Here's a piece of it right here. Shift C and then Shift I to invert. Cut that and then do. No, that one's already there. I think he removed that part. But fun stuff in there, though. Oh yeah, of course it uses the classic. Nice. But so I don't think it's in there. We'll just have to write it manually. The clarinet. Let's see. I wonder if it'd be faster to go and grab it from DKC1. Probably would be. So let's do that. Let that run for a minute. Now where's that melody? Oh, here it is. So let's grab this. Okay, and then where's, oh yeah, what channel is the clarinet? 7. Okay, let's put that here for now. Why did it? Oh, it took it from. I have to put it here. The first part happens on. Which bar? I think he actually did it. Oh, this part was played by the clarinet. Yeah, I remember. But he doesn't have this part. Yeah, okay, so this is there, but this has to be gone. But it's here. Then we go to 7 and Alt-C to change. Oh, that works nicely. Oh yeah, it's supposed to start later too. Like on the later section. Okay, then we take this part. Okay, and then move this here, and then we also send this to 7. Alt-C. And that's the big part. That's the big chord part. Okay, and then we can remove the space here because that part's going to be taken by the drums. Nice. Nice. Now we just need the piano harmony part. Let's see. Da, 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 da. I kind of want the piano to continue this part. Da, 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 da. Okay, so it was like da 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 da. Ah, maybe it was here. Da, da. Oh, it was here. Oh, I think I know what it is. I think it's like here, actually. Da, da, da. And then, of course, it swung, so it has to be like... No, actually, it's not. It's like... No, it actually starts early. Okay, and then it goes dun 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 dun. I should really just do this on one note and then add them in later. Ah, here we go. And it sounds a little bit janky, maybe because the swing is acting on it. I think it would have to be more like this. Okay, so that makes sense. And then we have to do... Yeah, there we go. And then the lower line is like... I think it's pretty much E all the time. Nice. Actually, I think the line is in the wrong place. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then you move this a little bit over for now. So then we're using 4 voices for this one. We're using 3 for this, that's 7. And then we're using only 1 voice for this, really. Maybe 2. That's 9. Most, and then 10. So we're not actually using a lot of voices here. We can afford to add 1 more on the piano. I would like to add like a 7th, like a dominant note here. So maybe we could that G in there on the A and then get the E. Nice, I like that. I'm gonna try one more time to add some harmonies down here to this line. I think it was just the yeah, I like that. Nice. Okay, and here's where the trombone is supposed to come in. Let's try the Donkey Kong 64 trombone. Let me read some comments first. Gameplay Galleon mixed with boxing be the best thing ever. Wait, what do you mean mixed with boxing? You mean like mixed with the rule fight, like the boxing match that you do at the end? Gameplay Galleon will probably be in the game if David Wise composed it. That's a good point. Maybe I'm gonna try to put Gangplank Galleon into this. That could be like a good, I don't know, maybe it would work into Gloomy Galleon in some way. Or or just the final boss fight with K. Rool, but it would have to be completely reworked because he's no longer in a pirate setting. So you would have to remove the pirate element and then do but it's mostly a rock composition, so it doesn't really have to change that much. But you could have him like boxing K. Rool to like the same rock and roll composition would be pretty cool. Yes, this is welcome Kit Cruciger. This is FL Studio. Okay, so hey, we're almost out of time here. I think I'm gonna have to go and eat soon because I'm dry. I'm hungry. Like I need water and stuff. So, and my time is almost up. So I'll say we'll finish this part of this section and then move on to something else. Or I'm gonna go and eat and then maybe come back. But I think I'll probably come back tomorrow actually. Okay, so let's go and get that trombone. Yes, here we go. That's going to be channel 13. Let's go to the melody line. I think it goes. Okay. Let's quantize that. I gotta get it to. Okay, so this trombone needs to be louder, first of all. No, absolutely. Nice. Okay, so that's good. Now we just need that pitch bend. So we got tune, add that to the tune knob, and then go to generators, contact, tune, and then Control I to insert what's already there. And then need to know how much panning is like one note up. So we go up one, and then let's see. Okay, so what I want to do here is insert one. Set it to one note up, and insert that. Control I. Then we have to lead it up there. So I have to right click. So this one has to go back down. Means that this part we're going to have to zoom in here and enlarge this. We're also, yeah, gonna have to go here. Okay, so then I want to go into step mode. See, let's remove this selection here. Slide up to both of these notes. Nice. Nice. Okay, and we can, since we want this to feel like a big band piece, we can get some more stuff on those, maybe not. I'm not sure if I want to add some stuff on it. I think I want to leave it as is. I think it's fine. Okay, but there was a flute part I really liked on this where he goes. He has that flute come in and plays it higher, which I really like. So let me go and bring that in. Let me get that, and let me actually put this onto a junk pattern and take this into contact. Let me go and find what I need. So I'm going to put that onto the clarinet, which is channel 7. Okay, that's not really, so it wasn't really in there, but I remember it, so maybe let me just add it and then see how that goes. So really, I just want to take the top note and duplicate that. Da-da-da-da-da-do. Okay, so just copy that and then put it in the same place, put it up an octave, and then Alt-C to change it to channel 7. But it only does, it doesn't do this part. It just does da-da-da-da. Okay, and then it goes lower. Okay, and then I think it also does this part too. Nice. And I don't think I want to include this breakdown in there. I want it because it would kind of be weird to go straight into the other parts. I think I want it to just hang on to that. And I want it to go into the improvised sections of like that Grant did for Jungle Japes. And I want this note to hang on longer. Nice. I like that. Okay. This is awesome. Thank you, Cram Witch. Welcome. So now what do I want to do next? I want to do an improvised jungle section-ish. Like, because I want that improvisation from Jungle Japes. Let's go and I'm gonna go to Jungle Melody. Actually, I'm gonna go to a junk pattern and try to find that improvisation. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, here it goes. So let's, I'm going to set this to a bar and then remove this space here. We'll delete. So here's sort of like the second melody section that we want. I'm going to call this Jungle Melody 2. No, what happened there? I think I accidentally hit Find First Image. Don't do that. Yeah, so that's the improvised section, but I don't think I want to tackle that today because we're almost at 3 hours and I'm going to take a break. I might come back, might not till tomorrow. So let's finish that tomorrow. But I'll play the whole thing in tandem before we go. Now. This is this is DK Isle. And then this is the jungle lobby, basically. Then we get to Jungle Japes. Hi-hats are too loud. think it's probably a problem of contact. Yeah, I still don't feel right about those brush drums. We'll work on that. Okay. So that's a good start. The jungle chorus part, this last section here is still a bit awkward, but I'll have time to think about that. For now, I'm gonna go eat. So and then I might come back, I might not. We'll see. This was fun. Thanks y'all for coming to the stream, and this will be Jam and Sam. So wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, lo tan noble. Come on, music. Hey, I'm doing a that. So my Spanish is a little rusty, but it sounds like you said, cool, this is something very noble, very noble, like music of video games. We are creating a community, something like that. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Estoy alegro de que disfrutas. That was right. Does the original DK64, I think the part of the song are unheard of, like it was deleted from the SNES version. Exactly. Yeah, it's like we're getting a new melody from that, you know? So, Grant did a good job with that. Does the original DK Island song change depending on what world world that DK is near, or simply the lobbies? No, it doesn't change based on what world he's near, just the lobbies. Only the lobbies change. But it would be cool if they sort of brought in different sections, like they did. You know, they kind of did that with the tag barrel, where the melody changed depending on what Kong you were highlighting. So that would be cool if they had more time, maybe we can explore that kind of theme. But I don't know, something like that. That would be interesting to think about. Welcome, Jamie Martin. Unfortunately, you're at the end of the stream right now, so. But you can go ahead and watch the rest of the stream. Like, it does sound something similar to what David Wise would do. Yeah, because David Wise wanted to push the boundaries, so maybe he would have like done like Little Big Planet and like allowed you to like, it's like you bring certain channels in and out. You know, that would have been cool. Certain channels come in and out. I'm thinking about that with how to proceed, but I'll go more into that next time. Anyway, either way. I hope this will be the end of the stream for me, so I need to go do stuff. So, well, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day or morning, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off until next time.